This is our first time ever listening to Kenny Chesney.
That's right. And today we're going to be reacting to There Goes My Life.
That's right. And I've never listened to much country in my entire life. I've heard Kenny Chesney's name. I think like my sister.
It's a recognizable name, but I couldn't name a song of his. Gun to my head, if you said, hey, your life's on the line, your mama's life's on the line, name a Chesney. I can't even say his name. Kenny Chesney song. I'd be like,
There goes my life.
Exactly. Pow.
That's all we know.
That's all we know.
But yeah, no. So this is going to be a very first time reaction. I'm excited for this one. We didn't like look up too much anything, but we did see from a reactor friend. He said the song is kind of emotionally charged.
Yes, our good friend Black Pegasus put us on the game. He said, you guys should listen to the song. I think you would relate to it. I don't know what that means, but let's go.
That's right. Before we start this video, guys, I'm Paper Chase.
And it's the one and only Diamond Don Juan, and we're back with another reaction just for you.
That's right, baby. We're back. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay.
All he could think about was, I'm too young for this. Got my whole life ahead. Hell, I'm just a kid myself. How am I gonna raise one? All he could see were his dreams going up in smoke. So much for ditching this town and hanging out on the coast. Oh well, those plans are long gone. And he said, there goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. Might as well kiss it all goodbye. There goes my life.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this does hit pretty hard. I mean, come on though. Like being a little dramatic here.
I know what that feeling's like. I was a young dad, and I felt like, you know, man, it's so many doors are closed. I know other people that had, you know, kids when they were young, and I think there's a natural reaction of just being scared. It's terrifying.
But how old were you when you found out your son was pregnant?
When I found out my son was pregnant.
when you found out your girl was pregnant with your son.
I was 17.
You were 17?
Yeah, when I had my first kid. 17.
Do you have 2 kids?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
We've talked about this.
We have?
Yes, we're not going to get into all that, but I
okay.
understand that, you know, that emotion of just feeling like overwhelmed by the responsibility of life.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, I remember when I had my kid, you know, when I found out my girlfriend was pregnant, I was in a very rough patch of life, but it was also like a point when I was like really, you know, I had a good thing going, and it kind of required 100% of my attention. And I was like, shit, like there goes that.
And this is, yeah, this is why I wanted to like bring that up, is because, you know, I don't think it's just about age. I think that sometimes it's just the pressure and like, how am I going to do this? It's scary. So it's taking on responsibility. It's having other things going in your life and not knowing how you're going to manage it and feeling overwhelmed. Like, you know, like you said, you weren't at a great place. You know, when I had my second son, you know, I wasn't, you know, I would say it wasn't planned. I wasn't prepared to be a father. It's the best way to put that. But, you know, it was just one of those things where it's like, hey, I guess, you know, this is what I'm doing, you know, kind of got to just step up to the plate.
Well, let's see how this transpires. Hopefully he gets a better perspective. I see a little girl in the picture.
Yeah.
So hopefully this he changes for the better.
Couple years of up all night and a few thousand diapers later, that mistake he thought he made covers up the refrigerator. Oh yeah, he loves that little girl. Mama's waiting to tuck her in as she fumbles up those stairs. She smiles back at him, dragging that teddy bear. Sleep tight, blue eyes and mountain curve. He smiles, there goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. I love you, Daddy, good night. There goes my life. She had that Honda loaded down with Abercrombie clothes and 15 pairs of shoes. And his American Express. He checked the oil, slammed the hood, said you're good to go. She hugged them both and headed off to the West Coast. And he cried, there goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. I love you, baby, goodbye. There goes my life. There goes my life. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. There goes my life.
Oh man, that made me cry. Dude, was that the most beautiful song we've listened to on this channel?
It's got to be up there. It really is a sweet, beautiful song. And, you know, I think it does capture because it's scary. At least it was for me. I'll just speak for myself. I think that it's scary, especially like from where I came from, being totally irresponsible and kind of wild in my life. And I was afraid of responsibility. I'll just be completely honest. Like I ran from responsibility in so many ways. And so that's where the fear came from.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I feel like I can't speak from the perspective of having a son, you know, but I can speak from the perspective of having a daughter. And I've always felt like, you know, having a son, it's kind of like a reflection of you. So you want them to go out and conquer the world, and you want them to be, you know, this, but like the relationship with the father and a daughter, it's
more
like
protective.
So protective. And it's almost like, you know, like this friendship that like, you know, because you don't have as much, like you don't feel like, oh, if I did this, like I want my son to be strong. I want them to, I mean, I don't want this to get taken out of context, because obviously like we all want our daughters to be strong and self-sufficient and whatever, but you have like this element of care for them that like, I feel like if I had a son, you know, I wouldn't have the same friendship necessarily that I have with my daughter. And it's like, oh man, I mean, I just, you know, that little girl's like obviously the best thing in the planet. Like not even just for me, for the whole world. She's just a light of shining
Yeah.
perfection. But, you know, we have me. It's so funny because I have this conversation with her all the time. Like, she was sitting in my back seat the other day and she's like, Dad, like, I don't want to like ever live alone. Like, I want to live with you forever. And I'm like, hell yeah, baby. You can live with me for the end of time. Like, she's like, and then she says, of course, she's like, because I don't want to get a job and pay for my own stuff. And I was like, you know what? Don't worry about that right now. You're 6 years old. You can worry about that in the future. But, you know, I just know one day she's going to go off and live her own life. And it's scary.
There goes my life. It had a totally different meaning at the end, because at the beginning of the song, it's like, there goes my life. You know, I had all these dreams. I was going to be the football star. I was going to move, you know, out of this little town and go, you know, experience the world. And now I'm like stuck here. I'm trapped by this, you know, life choice that I made. And then at the end of the song, it's, you know, there goes my life. Like, that ended up being everything that mattered in his life towards the end.
And I think it's beautiful, the line he said in the first verse, when he was like, I know, like, the dreams of sitting on the coast and going out there. And then at the end, it's like his daughter's driving out to the coast, like the West Coast. And it's like, you know, at some point, you know, like, when you have a kid, when you have a child, it becomes like blaringly obvious to you pretty much right away that, like, you're not the most important thing in your life anymore. Like, this person oversees everything. And kind of that line of, like, you know, what I wanted to do when I was a kid, now I've raised my daughter the right way, and to learn from, you know, my mistakes or whatever it might be, even though she's not a mistake, but now she gets to go live her dreams, which...
Yeah. And the thing that personally that I relate to in this song is, like I said, I was somebody that was running away from responsibility, didn't want to have, you know, didn't want to be tied down, you know, and I really created this life that was going to allow me to be selfish and have freedom and, you know, do all this and do things on my terms, you know, and I was running from responsibility. And then at the end of the day, you know, those responsibilities end up what make you a man. You know, taking on responsibility is what makes you a man. Living for something that's bigger than yourself makes you a man. And then also, it ends up being the most rewarding thing. Like, the things that are the most challenging, the things that are the hardest in your life, the more responsibility that you take, regardless of what that is, in my experience, have been the things that are the most rewarding. It's like living beyond yourself and doing things, you know, bigger than yourself, putting somebody else ahead of you ends up being the most rewarding thing, even though it is hard. And there's moments of like struggle, whether it's like paying the bills or stress or just dealing with the teenage son that's got an attitude, you know?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, why are you little? But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, hey, that's been the most rewarding experience for me.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure you drop a like. If you want to join us on this journey of just discovering incredible music like this, having heartfelt conversations, and the occasional debauchery, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We post every single day, and we got something on this channel for everyone.
That's right. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.